Good morning, good morning, good morning.
What up?
What's going on, man?
Happy Thursday.
It is a Thursday. It's a Thursday. I'm happy I'm here with you. I'm happy we got the news going. I'm happy we got Nebraska in the building.
Definitely.
Happy we're in the fun drive. Really great things going on.
We got money guns.
Money guns.
Everybody is
money
equipped.
Guns. Listen, Nebraska, it's a hair trigger. A hair trigger on that thing. Be careful. You can't risk any injury right now. All right.
It's a big show.
It's a big show. It's a big show. I do want to remind everyone, you can also check us out, any archived episodes on the podcast. I mean, on the website, X-Ray's website, in the app. All archive shows are there, as well as anywhere else you listen to podcasts, with the exception of Spotify. You can find News of My Fiance and Views with My Fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Ba-boom. How is you?
All right. This week has been a week.
Yeah.
It's been a very hard week.
Yeah.
As we say in our house, it's rough stuff.
Rough stuff. Rough stuff. When we were getting our coffee this morning, one of our homies was like, "Oh, you guys have a lot to talk about this week."
Yeah. Shout out to Eddie. It's like you got no shortage of
tomfoolery.
Of tomfoolery and topics. And it's our last day to pitch this fund drive.
Yeah.
So we got big news.
Okay.
We got big fund driving to do.
Yeah.
Big donations our way, baby.
Come on.
We're really looking to, okay, I'm just going to ambush. I'm going to expose us for
do it.
Who we are.
All right.
Normally, we have a peer-to-peer page.
Yeah.
Which means I am in competitive mode and I am here to win. Now, don't get me wrong. I am still very much about getting X-Ray as many dollars as we possibly can.
Facts.
But right now, you don't even know to tell him I sent you. You know what I mean? Which puts me at a disadvantage of winning. But that's not the point.
No.
The point is to make sure that X-Ray is funded.
Yeah.
To make sure that we can continue to bring you this lovely, lively content from all sorts of content creators, DJs, voices in your community, which is so important.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of outside folks going into other people's communities telling them what is and isn't happening. And, man.
A lot of big dollars being pushed around.
Big money.
To suppress independent voices.
Yeah, big time.
You know.
So today we're going to talk a lot about the goings-ons in the news, but we're also going to talk about you becoming a member for $15 a month.
I got a goal. And, sometimes I get a little wild with it.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
I've whittled it down. I got a membership goal this morning. I want to get 2,000 new members before our show is over. This is the whittled down version, guys. We can get
this
2 racks.
Reeling it in?
This is me reeling it in.
2,000 people.
We have 15,
we're not even talking $2,000.
No, we have 15,000 people listening right now.
Is
if
that
we could,
true? How
no, really.
Can you tell that?
Okay. I checked Nielsen. It's great.
Okay.
It's great. We're doing great. No, two listeners. Become members today. $15 a month. What do they get? T-shirt, right?
You can't ask me that kind of thing.
Okay. I think they get a
first
t-shirt.
thing in the morning.
Maybe it's a mug. I'm not sure.
I think it's a T-shirt.
But you know what you definitely get?
Nina's gonna kill us.
Yes, she is. Nina's gonna kill us. You know what you definitely get though? Our gratitude. Oh.
And I'll give you the quiet air horn.
How you feel about that?
Huh?
Yeah.
Listen.
You don't know you need it until right. Now you can,
and then you can't get enough.
You can't live without it.
You want it all the time. You can take the archive sound of the soft air horn, make it your ringtone.
Oh,
or your text tone.
I like this. I do like this.
You don't even have to pay for that, but $15 a month.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
We love a sustained giver.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong. all the givings are great, but we love a sustained giver because we can count on it.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that you know is going to happen each month. And you know how important that is, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the relationship, right? Independent voices that can count on the community support.
Hello.
And we'll keep on bringing you this early morning fervor to your Thursdays.
Also, there's a match, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But
Okay.
we've got a $5,000 match from 4 people that love this station.
Okay.
They care deeply.
All right.
And, yeah,
Okay.
we're going to keep it popping.
We'll keep it popping. What are we talking about today in national stories?
Oh, boy.
I'm sure you guys could guess.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys can guess. We're going to talk a little bit about, Roe v. Wade and its possibility of going away.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about Ohio, the great state of Ohio.
A lot going on over there.
A lot going on over there. J.D. Vance has advanced in the Senate primary, Republican Senate primary, and Shontel Brown beat Nina Turner in the congressional race. And I'm...
Yeah. I was a little distraught, but there's a silver lining in that.
Yeah.
Local stories. We got Portland City Council races looking pretty bleak for the black women that are running. Mm-hmm. And Stan Pullium got run out of downtown Portland.
I mean, this is really... If I could just choose... I do realize that I helped produce this show, but if I could just choose, I'd like to just talk about Stan Pullium being run out of downtown Portland by 9 protesters.
Man.
Like, that's exactly what I would like to spend an hour and a half talking about.
Just 9.
But you're just going to get a little bit of that work.
Yeah.
Also, 8:45. Alex coming through with Tevis's budget proposal. We're going to hear from Alex on what the mayor is saying he's going to do with money.
Lord of mercy.
It's going to be a little bit different today.
Yeah.
We're going to do a lot more talking than reading news.
Yeah.
And because we feel like these stories you may have heard something about.
Yeah.
And we are starting to realize there are a lot of different perspectives out there. And
I don't know if we're starting to realize it as much as we're just being blasted with them.
Yeah.
Coming from the very darkest, dankest corners of existence. It's like, wow, they still make your model?
Yeah. They're still making that model person.
In 2022? Man.
We need the expansion pack.
We do.
Because, fam.
We do.
Y'all living in them dark ages.
Man.
We can't have it.
There's a lot going on. Doctor Strange comes out tomorrow, guys. Come on, behave yourselves.
This is the most important part of this week for Ambush.
The multiverse of madness.
The multiverse of madness.
You know?
He has been on a full-blown countdown for a solid 2 weeks.
It's how I've been remembering the days of the week.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Ambush is not great with dates, details, those kind of things on a normal basis.
No.
But we do see priorities. And my man has been able to tell you when May 6th was for a solid 3 weeks now. Oh, that's Friday, May 6th. So that means Sunday is the 8th. I guarantee you he doesn't remember that Sunday the 8th is Mother's Day, but we'll move forward on that. Look at his face.
Oh.
I would. It is, in fact, a multiverse of madness.
Oh, shock and awe.
Mm-hmm. Live from Gilead.
Boom. You've been transported into a dystopian present.
A dystopian present.
Yikes.
One of the things about watching The Handmaid's Tale, I'm going to be honest, that I did not read that book, but hooked on that show. Mm-hmm. But one of the things about watching it that was really, I don't know what the right word is, disarming, is that when they start doing the flashback scenes are today.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean my bank card doesn't work?
Bruh.
What do you mean I don't have any money in it? What do you mean I don't have a bank account? Yeah, so there's been...
We'll jump into the text real quick. Respond to that text. Thank you. We got a text during the break. This is with regards to the fund drive, because we are fund driving.
Driving them funds, baby.
I ordered my sweet member bandana, but still waiting for Morgan to start a Substack, Patreon, church, or cult so I can join. That debate moderation was amazing, by the way. Thank you so much for that feedback.
Man, thank you.
Yeah.
The cult is coming.
Cult is on the way.
It's coming, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what a Substack is, so I keep hearing about them.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to look into it. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud.
Well, the cult's been a priority, so. We'll get around to the Substack.
Keep things on top.
Cult, Patreon, Substack. It's that order.
Got it.
Yeah. Never a church.
No. There's no organized religion, but.
She's like, well.
No. No. I'm agreeing. You may have heard about just a little opinion written by Justice Alito that was leaked, and this is our new buzzword of the week. Leaked. That's the thing to think about here, I guess, instead of what the actual opinion is. That opinion is that Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood versus KC are unconstitutional and overreaching and misreading the Constitution. And so, they shouldn't be around.
I mean,
go ahead and overturn that.
You mean to tell me that the racist forefathers didn't have the foresight to see the need to have some type of wording directly addressing technology that didn't exist yet?
I mean, number one, that, Ambush. But also, I'm going to tell you this. The technology may have advanced. Abortion has been happening forever. If you can be if you're a person who can be pregnant, you have, there are ways and means.
Methods.
As they say.
Yeah.
And they have been around for many a moon. I don't think the founding fathers ever thought about women outside of ownership because that's who we're talking about.
Right. They're really good with owning.
And the idea that we continuously hearken back to this Constitution that was written by enslavers.
Right.
By colonizing enslavers. Raping, pillaging people.
Right.
We gotta go back to their minds and their fever dreams and make sure that we live inside of those.
I mean, what were they thinking?
Well, what would we be thinking to not uphold it, right? What would we be thinking wanting to have rights over our own bodies?
Right.
Nuts.
Insane.
And right now, Ambush, there for me, tons of blame to go around.
Mm-hmm.
Tons and tons and tons and tons. And one of those things is the apathy that we just live in, the air we breathe, patriarchy, the air we breathe, the inability to access healthcare as the air we breathe. We've been talking about the states that have been working locally to ban abortion, but know that abortion has been effectively banned in many of these southern states by just doing the legislation around it. You're going to need to have a certain height in your clinic. The ceilings have to be a certain height. Your hallways have to be a certain width. You have to have a certain amount of doctors on staff at all time. This has been happening. I think Oklahoma had one abortion clinic.
Right.
There's also been the huge trend for years now of fake abortion clinics that will pop up right next to a
real provider, and will basically just try and shame girls and women into not choosing that route. Totally wasting their entire time and traumatizing them.
In that waste, I suppose. And what I'm worried about right now, we're going to try and keep some of this short because there's so much news to get to, I know. But what I'm worried about is the political fallout from this is already looking very stupid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very, very stupid. Democrats are fundraising. They're going to fundraise on this. They're going to campaign on this, and they're going to do absolutely nothing at all. They have the power today. Number one, sorry, I had to stop myself from cussing. End the filibuster. Codify this completely. They have the power to do that right now. And this isn't like some disillusioned, this isn't the way power works. Guarantee you. We see what the Republicans just did when they had power.
Bruh.
We see what they did. This whole, I'm going to play by somebody else's rules. They don't play by those rules. This dignity, this high road, this we go high, none of it. Because right now, anybody who can have a baby is in peril. Period. The fact that we would ever be talking about the, extenuating circumstances in which that could maybe be okay. It's none of your business.
Yeah, who cares, bro?
It's none of your business. And this is the same group of people that continuously fights for the death penalty. Make it make sense.
What happened to my body, my choice?
What happened to those lives mattering? And I'm going to tell you this, Ambush, the more that I hear preborn, I may jump off the Broadway Bridge. I cannot handle.
Yeah.
And that's to swim in the Willamette, guys. That's not for any other reason.
No.
To be clear.
Yeah. That's a challenge.
But no, this idea that we're just going to forego all of the science and talk about make-believe and then live by that make-believe is just too much for me to handle.
I do want to jump back to a point you made about the Democrats kind of just sitting on their hands here. Anyone listening, maybe it's your first time listening, maybe you've been a loyal listener and you haven't texted yet. I do want to know. I do want to see something come through on the text line, having the understanding that the Dems could actually do something. And we've watched them continuously do nothing. What do you feel like your options are?
Well, all they're telling us to do is vote.
Yeah.
This is why vote blue no matter who.
Listen. We're getting to some stuff later on that I will be very clear. When was my last year voting blue? If things move forward the way we are hearing for 2024. But I want to know. I want to know how are you feeling about this right now?
Yeah,
I really do, because it's we're being gaslit. We're being gaslit into believing that their hands are just so tied. Bruh. And we watched a reality TV star become president and wreck shop.
Yo,
he's not even a real Republican, but he brought home the gold every single month for them.
Bruh.
No games played.
Straight up wrecking ball.
Dog.
Constitution, where?
What? Like a seasoned athlete. He was killing it for them.
Oh, boy.
And it's terrible because he's, you know what I'm saying? But here we are, career politicians, and we just can't, at some point, we just have to look them in the face and say, you're lying to me, and I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm over it. You know what? I know what you're about to say. It's a continuation of the last thing you said. It's more of the lies. We're good. We're good here. We're good. Let's just,
Rudo sent a text.
Rudo!
Good morning. Joe Byron, that just made my morning, by the way, said we need to vote more. We need to vote more pro-choice people into office. Joe, we keep doing that. Do something once you're there. That's it. That's it. It can't be performances every single day. It cannot be that. That cannot be y'all job.
Seriously.
And this idea that we just need to keep voting them in so that they will sit on their hands, so that they will let Republicans wreck shop. And here we have the Republicans creating Leakgate.
Yeah.
The thing that we need to be talking about, the thing that is so upsetting right now is that someone, somewhere, dare leak an opinion from the Supreme Court.
Highest court in the land.
Just over here messing up all the dignity and...
I mean, it's a great strategy. They're playing into that dignity, high road foolishness that the Dems celebrate and stomp the yard on. It's great.
Not stomp the yard.
It's great. It really is.
Ambush, they were calling it the real insurrection.
Of course.
And you know what I did?
Did you turn your TV off?
I almost threw things at it, so yes, I turned it off.
Babe, we don't have the finances to afford another television.
We don't. And no, we don't. And I didn't. I turned it off.
Nebraska, that TV got us through the pandemic.
It did.
Couldn't go to the movie theater, but sat pretty at home. Yeah, I understand the rage.
The idea of this is the real insurrection. There was some sort of, breach of, there's an overturning. There's a treasonous act has happened because someone leaked this. I also just, like you said, this is a great strategy for them, but they're also simultaneously blaming the left for doing that while saying the left is benefiting from it, while they're just talking about the leak instead of what it actually means. The only person that I've seen address this as a Republican address this as something that they are excited about is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was fake crying up there talking about finally the devil don't win. And Mitch McConnell, who's been working on this his entire turtle life, had the nerve to be like, hey, that ain't even the news today, friends.
Yeah.
That ain't even the news. Here, we need to be talking about that leaked situation.
Long turtle life. Listen, we got to make sure we're not allowing these Republicans to drive the conversation, especially when they're not putting things on the table that rely on logic, science, any shred of humanity devoid of empathy. We got to make sure they're not pulling us into these conversations to distract us from the real damage that they're doing. I'm saying this to you guys because I know how upsetting and I know how triggering a lot of this is. But you will be on your interwebs arguing with someone who really doesn't care. And we've got a lot of really hard work to do right now. We have a lot of rallying to do right now. We are not just trying to keep Republicans at bay with the foolishness they want to get done. We are up against corporate Democrats.
Bruh. Who hate us, I think, more.
Yeah. So here we are, true progressives, not the Pinos, true progressives. And we're in the middle. And we've been told over and over again, hey, you got to join either side if you want a voice. You got to join either side if you want to make a change. We don't. We just have to get active. We have to get active. We can make this happen. They have shown us they do not care about our values. They really have. They campaign on it and turn their backs on us immediately, unapologetically. Just, cancel school debt. Nah.
I'm going to remind everybody that our good friend Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama, ran on making sure that Roe v. Wade would be just straight up codified law.
Yeah.
And got in and was like, oh man, I got way bigger fish to fry right now, friend. I'll get to it. And if you forgot, he never got to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we are.
I
mean, we're still there are still people that don't understand. One, this isn't about actual babies, and this isn't actually about, what happens inside of a Planned Parenthood, because abortion services only make up about 3% of what happens at a Planned Parenthood. If it weren't for Planned Parenthood, I would not have had health care for the early beginning of my adult life.
Right.
My late teens, early 20s, if there was no Planned Parenthood, if there wasn't a donation-based kind of payment, the health care that women need to receive yearly, I had no access to it. And I just I can't believe that we have to say that out loud.
Right.
Also, it's like 60 to 70% of Americans are like, yes, every lady should be able to choose what they want to do with their body.
Right. So we're sitting here watching the minority move. This is no different than the conversations we have about who has the majority of the wealth on the planet and the way they've been controlling things. I know this sounds conspiratorial, but it just is what it is. Like, honestly, it just is what it is. We're letting a minority control us. And the fact that 65 to 70% of the nation totally is for abortion being an option, us having the right, pro-choice. And it's in jeopardy. That means too many of us are taking things for granted and they're just kicking it old school, just chilling, expecting nothing to change. We got a couple texts in. Only liberty for white males, as it was written when the Constitution was written.
See?
As it was when the Constitution was written. Correct. From the person that wants to join the cult, I don't know what to do about the Dems because they clearly care more about preserving the status quo than they do about even winning. Denying them votes doesn't even teach them a lesson. All they seem to fear is progressives within the party.
We are aligned. We do need to be together forever.
Yes. There does need to be a cult. I'm sorry.
We are aligned.
We got another one. Good morning, Morgan and Ambush. Personally, I feel things are very bleak. I even once had hope for the progressive movement, i.e. the squad. As Nina Turner's law showed us, that there's too much dark money interfering. I'm disappointed that the Justice Democrats didn't rally around her under the pretense of fighting a losing battle. Yes, Malcolm.
We are talking about that next.
That is what's coming up next, Malcolm. Another text. I can't believe someone took away the Supreme Court's ability to choose. When they tell us they're going to do this. Rudo! Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's definitely it.
So, jump right in?
We're going to jump right in. I want to get these texts in real quick because we are buzzing. Someone mentioned AIDS was at an all-time high when Mike Pence got rid of Planned Parenthood in Indiana. Case no free STD testing. John, hello. Also, can't wait for the cult. I'll wait till Thursday every week just to hear Morgan preach it. Thank you very much for the feedback.
I'm blushing now.
In response to the music selection, not the best after the abortion.
Right? Thank you.
We're definitely going to strike that.
That's how I felt. I was like, I don't know that this is the right one.
Man.
Yeah. Okay. Jumping into Ohio.
We are there.
And we'll be quick. We'll be quite quick because we got to get to local stuff too. And Alex is going to be here soon enough.
Yeah.
JD Vance. We talked about him. We played you his, are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? Don't you want to build that border wall? We talked about that campaign ad, and boy, did it work.
Right.
JD Vance was trailing because he's not a politician. He's a hedge fund dude. Big time. He was at like 11% or something last month. Or month before, March. And then Trump endorsed him. And he shot up in the polls and was at 23%. And then he won with nearly 33% of the vote.
Trump accidentally endorsed him.
Well, no, it wasn't an accident. What we do know is he doesn't actually know his name. He mixed the two together. He called him J.P. Morgan. No, J.P. Mandel.
He did call him J.P. Mandel.
He got it all wrong. He was like, we're here. We endorsed the great J.P., right? Oh, J.D. Mandel.
Bruh. And it worked.
Well, there was, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't get me wrong. Trump is definitely still a somebody. But I was questioning, how much of a somebody can you be if you get the name wrong? Is it an endorsement if the last thing I hear is the correct last name? Maybe I'm supposed to be voting for Mandel, however he said it.
Yeah.
But then we learned Peter Thiel.
Do you guys know who Peter Thiel is? Because guess what? Last night, my mind got blown, exploded off of my
I feel like
neck.
I have to do a free game on Peter Thiel just because there's too much to talk about. But Peter Thiel, founder, I think, of PayPal or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big PayPal.
And now has, is a multi-billionaire and all the things and hangs out with all the other billionaires and have fun, right-wing fun together.
And
I don't know.
And he's not one of these fun billionaires, like a Tony Stark.
Oh my God.
He is very politically active.
Yo, my man is in everything.
Super politically active. He was like, I got that money, and that money's gonna make moves.
Yo, it's really on some it's giving Mercer vibes.
Yeah.
It's definitely giving long wealth.
Bruh.
To keep the colonies going. It's a mess. He put $15 million US dollars.
Listen to this.
Into J.D. Vance's Senate race.
Now, this is just to secure him the nomination against other Republicans.
It's a primary.
Right. $15 million.
What happens after this?
Bruh.
How much money and it's around the country. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Again, gonna have to do some more reading and retaining because boy, oh boy, he's throwing millions all over the country.
Right.
For congressional seats. He also is the person who firmly believes that the government is too big and needs to get out of everybody's business. But also 2+ and I'm going to put a whole bunch of implants in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't really care how much it costs because I'm a billionaire.
Dude, J.D. Vance ran that ad talking about, am I a racist because I don't like Mexicans? The border is what is troubling our state. You're not on the border. And then blamed the trafficking for what happened to his mom, which he made a movie about, which goes completely it's just chock full of lies and racism.
Yeah.
And Peter Thiel put $15 million behind that, and they won. Understand.
Also understand that Peter Thiel gave J.D. Vance the seed money to start that hedge fund. So they been buds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fast friends, if you will.
Yeah.
And money's just been going to J.D.
So I know we joke a lot about different things on the show. And it's to bring, a sense of levity to all of this heavy stuff that we're dealing with. And it can feel like an unsurmountable challenge we're up against here when we're talking about billionaires just shoving their money all over the place to make things happen. And this is not a fund drive push, by the way, but we are fund driving. This is why it's important, though. This is why it's important that we're having these conversations with each other, and we're having these conversations in our community, and we do a hard stop to the BS. When someone's coming, there are certain things we just have to say are unacceptable. They're not even worth the discourse. No. You don't get to say the things that J.D. Vance is saying and not identify him clearly as a racist. No. Peter Thiel does not get to support people like this and us not be able to clearly identify him as a billionaire racist. And that's that. End of the discussion. Well, he does think billionaire racist. That's it.
Yeah, and I think there's a few plus ands in there too.
He's definitely Lex Luthor. He's all of it. Yeah.
That is exactly what you said last night.
Yeah,
he's Lex Luthor.
We were watching, I think it was maybe a 6 or 7 minute thing just on Peter Thiel. And when it was done, it was just one thing after the next. I'm like, just explosion. And then it ended, and I was like, oh my goodness, he is Lex Luthor. And for anyone unfamiliar, his money is long and he cannot be stopped. It's just...
Billionaires shouldn't exist.
Yeah. She keeps roping me into that.
Yeah, I do.
This is super dangerous.
That is the dark money, right? It's that's some of the dark money. And after that whole debacle for me, my it was a hard time seen Shontel Brown beat Nina Turner because Nina Turner is she's the only kind of public servant that is. These are the ones we want. These are the ones we need. These are the ones that working class folks deserve. And she is very much in the vein of Shirley Chisholm, unbought and unbossed. Like you cannot buy her, and that's what we need. You can, however, buy Shontel Brown.
Man,
boy, can you buy her?
Man.
And this is one of the things that that vote blue no matter who certainly don't work when that blue is only there to uphold all of the things that are oppressive to the majorities of people.
Right.
She is a passionate Biden supporter, loves those centrist Dems. Biden endorsed her. But one of the things that really made me go, excuse me, none of this, does any of this matter? Was when she was able to join the Progressive Caucus the day before Nina Turner started her run. Mm-hmm. How is it possible that Shontel Brown is a part of that new centrist Democrat caucus and the Progressive Caucus at the same time?
And receiving money from Republicans.
Not only getting money from dark money from Democrats, right? Not only getting all of the support and funding from the establishment, but also raking in some Republican dollars, raking in some right-wing conservative money.
Right.
On top of that, 2 separate pro-Israel PACs gave her big bread. And why did they do that? Because they feel that Nina Turner is divisive. Why is she divisive? Because she believes Palestine and Palestinians exist.
Right.
And we're still in that world where it's somehow not okay to say that Palestinian people exist and that Palestine exists because somehow they have been able to rope-a-dope us into believing that that is anti-Semitism. It is not. Do I need to make a disclaimer for myself? This is Morgan Jones saying this, not the views and the blah, blah, blah opinion.
Yeah.
But real life, like that's what she is divisive for. Nina Turner is everything that, diet Republicans hate.
Look at all the stars that align for Shontel. We have Republicans. We have centrist Democrats.
We have these outside of Ohio PACs. I mean, like that's what, this is not money coming from inside the house.
Right. And then the president endorsed her.
Yeah.
The president got involved. That's how serious this was. The president is against Nina Turner.
Where have we seen this before?
So we're not making this up. We're not delusional. We're not. The president said no to Nina Turner. Cool. So,
I'm sorry.
Text in my best Chuck D voice. By the time I get to Ohio.
That's funny.
And then we got another one. What did we do about campaign finance reform? We talked about this last week with the Hardesty campaign, and it's the same with Nina Turner race.
Exactly.
Correct.
I don't know yet. I mean, this needs to be a priority. We need to be really doing our best locally and then federally to get this kind of big money. I mean, we're watching, anyone can buy it. And so we all need to understand that, and we all need to be telling other people, because there's a lot of people that don't get that. There's a lot of people that don't understand, one, how expensive it is to run a campaign, right? And how easily it is to be outmatched by your opponent because they know people with money.
Yep.
And grassroots campaigns, that's not a lot of money. I mean, we're dealing with small dollar donations.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody doing it. But that's how it needs to be. Or we have some fixed situations where a race can only cost this much.
Yeah, some caps.
And if we're doing tax dollars that goes to that, then fine, it's tax dollars, but you can only spend this much.
Right.
We got to level this out, because this really is becoming just billionaires buying these things. It's not, and I don't know if there is any sort of connection. I'm not trying to do a conspiracy in any way. All I'm saying is, when you see a bunch of dark money coming through PACs, the whole point of PACs is so you don't know whose money that is.
Right.
That's the point. There's so many LLCs, right? Like, there's so many shell companies that can all of a sudden, they're just the ones that give the money. And you don't know that belongs to Peter Thiel or whoever.
Or whomstever. We got a text earlier, beat me up. But Democrats simply don't have the votes. Manchin is against abortion, period. Pun intended. All 50 Republicans vote together. The two ladies over there are pretending to be outraged.
Oh, my God.
The justices, we all screamed, were picked to overturn Roe.
Yep.
And lied to them. But not at all the rest of us.
This is coming in weird. Sorry.
Not all the rest of us. Yeah, sorry about that. Republicans stole 2 picks.
Yes.
When in power, not the Dems. If those 2 women are not Mitches, they would vote to bust the filibuster. For this one issue, they claim they support abortion rights. Byron has done more than Obama. 40
true on the
issue. Yeah. It's passed the House with only a 4-vote Dem majority. Not an easy thing. And yes, this should have been codified in the 70s.
Yeah.
In the 70s.
A lot of these are fantastic text messages. You guys are just
nailing it.
But yeah, so the idea that this is something, all that precedence talk, right? All that. Oh, I take this very seriously. All of those justices. Mm-hmm. Susan Collins over here, like, I can't believe it.
Can't you?
Brett Kavanaugh lied to me. Did he? Girl. Is that what happened?
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we got to get the dark money out.
Yeah.
We absolutely cannot continue to watch these races get eaten up, and the Democrats have to do something. They have to do something. This can't be forever that we just keep having this same conversation.
The only Democrats I'm looking to do something right now, because the Democratic majority, they're doing exactly what they want to do. And
yeah, they're doing the job that they signed up for.
Yeah. I am my faith is waning, but the squad, Nina did say that some of her homies in the squad were threatened not to endorse her.
Yeah.
But
and not some, all.
Yeah, all of them were threatened.
Yeah.
That last minute endorsement from AOC, that drove me through the roof.
Through the roof.
I had steam coming out of my ears. I was really upset by that. And just really disheartened by the loss. But then Nina delivered a concession speech that was riveting.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And announced
inspiring,
and announced her presidential run.
Sort of.
Yeah.
She didn't announce her presidential run. I believe that in the media they would say she hinted at it.
Well, when asked directly about it, she said, "You heard what I said."
She said, "We gonna see."
She said, "You heard what I said. I'll see you in 2024." I was like, oh.
What?
Oh man, I got chills again.
She hit us with there's some people in California that want to talk about it.
Man.
Some people in Iowa want to talk about it. People in Nevada. And then there were people like, oh, is she going to run for Senate then? Or that really, I have chills right now. Like, the idea of her running for president is huge for me because she is the kind of public servant that I want. Mm-hmm. I don't have I'm not disillusioned in the idea that means that Nina Turner will be president in 2024.
Right.
But I do think that there is something to be said about not backing down. I got called Bernie bro the other day, which was hilarious. But Bernie's campaign changed my life, and I'm not going to pretend like it didn't. It gave me the imagination to believe that there are people in positions of power that do want the same things.
Yeah.
I do not want to necessarily see Bernie Sanders run for president again. Mm-hmm. But what I want to see is someone always running with that message.
Yeah.
So No fantasies over here, but that would hugely, because I mean, it's really about getting the message out, right? And like, there's so much money being spent to stifle the message. There's so much money being spent on not fixing problems, like purposely, and we'll get to that in the local part. Spending so much money to pretend like they've done something or that they have gotten to a fix when we could have spent half of the money and actually come up with and implemented solutions.
Yeah.
And instead, we do the gridlock. So
no delusions.
But I need that message to continuously get out there because there's more of us.
Yeah. There is. There just is. My chills came from just the ability to place a vote somewhere I actually wanted to go.
Ooh.
That's it.
Ooh.
I can spend my vote wisely. And in local news.
Y'all, it's May 5th. Voting day is the 17th.
That's right.
We got to get serious.
Yeah. Yeah. We want you guys informed. There's been a lot of talk.
And Ambush, that's my question. Does the general public actually know what city commissioners are in charge of?
No, they only know what people for Portland tell them.
Ooh.
And
people for landlords.
People for landlords. And we should see if Peter Thiel is involved.
He probably is.
Yeah.
I want to give I just keep seeing we talked about this last week. Commissioner Hardesty, first of all, let me not be a part of the...
Respect on her name.
Yes. Commissioner Hardesty being blamed for absolutely everything and anything that if you don't like it, it's likely her fault.
Right.
And I think that there are people that really do not understand that these positions have actual things they're in charge of. It's not just like this hodgepodge of we all show up to a table and say we want to,
right?
I don't want to, or I want to defund the police, and someone else is like, no, I want to fund it. Like it isn't as sloppy as that. But I definitely don't think that people know that what she's in charge of. So I just wanted to give us the hard and fast because she's getting blamed for things that she ain't got nothing to do with. Commissioner Joanne Hardesty oversees Portland Fire and Rescue, Portland Bureau of Transportation, and the Office of Community and Civic Life, committed to representing all Portlanders with transparency, accountability, and equality. Ambush, ask me what Dan Ryan is in charge of.
What is Dan Ryan in charge of?
Commissioner Ryan oversees the Portland Housing Bureau.
What?
Joint Office of Homeless Services, Bureau of Development Services, and the Portland's Children's Levy. In partnership with Portlanders, Commissioner Ryan is working to develop innovative solutions to complex issues that move our city forward.
Understand here, we're not campaigning. We're bringing clarity, okay? Because a lot of the things that we've been seeing, on YouTube, Instagram for the last year during the pandemic.
On our local news.
Yes. Is Portland over?
Portland's on fire.
Portland's on fire. Portland's down in the dumps. We're losing our streets.
Lawless.
We're losing our downtown. Blah, 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 blah. This houselessness situation is just out of control.
I'm so tired of the trash and the tents.
Commissioner Hardesty needs to do something about it.
It's her fault.
I've never, and I can clearly say this. I want to say, I can't be, I'm not even going to mince it and be like, well, there were a couple times. I've never heard Dan Ryan's name attached to this responsibility.
At all.
Ever.
At all.
So it's not like what's under their purview isn't clearly laid out. The question here is, what is the motivation for the misdirection?
Ew.
And where is it coming from?
Ew.
Who was being targeted?
Ew.
Like, this is the same black woman that was framed for a felony.
Yes. By the Portland police.
And now we're blaming her for the responsibilities of another commissioner.
And not only another commissioner, but also when you think of, when you hear about the crime in Portland, that's also somehow Commissioner Hardesty's fault. That's also somehow she defunded the police on her own. She got rid of that gang task force, which literally, had you ever been targeted or had contact with those people and you were a black person, you know exactly why, and a brown person, you know exactly why they needed to go. This was open clannery. Open.
Yeah.
Open. And all they keep doing is changing the name of it.
Right. It's not going anywhere.
The gang problem in Portland is the Portland police. The gang problem in Portland is the Proud Boys, the Patriot Prayers, all the people that don't even live here, who continuously come here and do the wild things and then get help from the police because Hannah Montana.
Morgan Jones. But who's in charge of the police?
Ted Wheeler.
Oh. You sure it's not Joanne?
Tevis.
Okay.
Tedrick. Ted Wheeler is not only the mayor, he is the police commissioner. He oversees the Portland Police Bureau. He oversees the Bureau of Emergency Management. That's him. He oversees the city budget.
So before we run out of time.
Yeah, which we did. I'm sorry.
Can we pivot back to educating our audience on misogynoir? And because at the core, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah. This is definitely, we don't like black women. We don't like black people. We're going to start there. We don't like black women, and we certainly don't like deeply melanated ones with locks. That can't be the representation for me. That can't be the person I have to listen to. I'm supposed to listen to her?
And I know that sounded really specific, especially the part about locks, but understand the Crown Act just happened. So this isn't something that we're making up.
Yeah, this isn't like just, 4 months ago, anybody with locks in wherever they live could literally be fired for unkept hair. For just the way that hair grows out of our head.
Right.
The ability to discard, disbelieve, and then do the performance of listen to black women, but not that black woman, but not that black woman, definitely not that one. That's what's happening. If we're not going to do the actual investment of equity and understanding diversity and inclusion, if we're not going to do it, this is where we are. You've had to go to the seminar. You've had to go to the thing at work. And you know how many of the people there were super peeved about it? Couldn't believe that they had to sit there and listen to that? They take that with them, and then they do stuff about it. But the performance lives on. If you don't believe me, find out who actually profits from DEI. It is white men.
Yep.
All those initiatives. For as many black women that are out there doing that work, for as many black and brown people that are out there doing that work, who's making millions of dollars? White men. To tell you the things that you don't want to hear and they don't care about. Sorry, I went too far.
No, you didn't.
I do just really want to say, real quick, what I do love about Portland is those moments when they're like, not in my backyard. And Stan Pullium, who is the current mayor of Sandy, Oregon, if you're unfamiliar with that place, he's the mayor. And he's running for governor, and he is a pro-Trump, anti-trans, anti-CRT, all the conservative talking points in this moment. He came here to rally up the old conservative machine, I guess. I don't know. You just came to the wrong place, bro. But he goes downtown and was met with 9 protesters. 9. 8 plus 1. 9 protesters and got ran out of this city.
Got him up out of there.
They had some purple smoke bombs. I thought they were beautiful. They egged the bus. I don't know what they were throwing, but there was brown or black liquid all over that man's face and sweatshirts, which was hilarious. He had the tiniest little megaphone. A humongous bus. I was like, we're spending our money on the wrong things right now, Brad. You don't even have anything to stand on.
No podium, no
podium, no nothing. You're small. We can't see you, sir.
With the small megaphone, sir.
Bam. out here looking like a whole non-professional is what I'll say.
Yeah.
And he was real upset. He was like, we're here to take our state back. Boy, bye. Get out. And shout out to Mac Smith. There was a tweet where he was unfamiliar with Sandy and realized there's about 11,000 people that live there. And he said that when he was in New York before he moved here as a child, his housing complex had more residents in it than the town of Sandy. And that's an important thing to think about. When a person who is the mayor of a very small town thinks they should be the one in charge of a really big state.
The whole state, bro.
Like, there is a lot of white mediocrity, and that's the personified right there.
Whole state, bro.
Know who he is, though, because he's running some wild ads on our local news. Wild.
Right.
And they are just, like, absolutely disgusting. I don't know and I got to look into this, because there's also just blatant lies in a bunch of these ads, and so I got to find out the true rules to this. Because the ability to just say what you want, the ability, and I know there are rules. There are always rules.
Yeah.
So I just got to familiarize myself with that. I think this is perfect timing. Alex is on the line.
Oh, yeah. We've been talking about...
just finishing up that Sam Pullium and getting... what'd you say earlier? We'll pivot back. We'll circle back around to our good friend Ted Wheeler.
Yeah. So we've been talking about spending more money to not fix city issues this morning. So we'll see if this fits the theme or gives us some hope. Here to talk about the mayor's budget proposal is news editor for the Portland Mercury, Alex Zelinski. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to talk about the pivot to Ted.
Give us the good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week, Mayor Ted Wheeler dropped his proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year, which begins in June. And this is obviously an annual process where after, a few months of hearings, public hearings, conversations with bureau leaders, he puts together kind of his idea of where all the money should be spent for the next year. And then in the next couple of weeks, there'll be public hearings and additional discussions to figure out, how that should be adapted or kind of tweaked a little bit. And there's definitely a lot to consider. Not a ton of things on the chopping block this year because there has been this extra, really unexpected surge in revenue coming in that has to do kind of with the tax season. So city economists estimated, that they wouldn't get a ton of taxes from businesses coming in. Portland's budget's kind of bolstered a lot by public tax dollars. And so it's always in April to kind of wait to see, okay, so how much are we actually going to get from businesses making money in the past year? And so, understandably, in the past, over the past couple of years, the economists were kind of assumed that local businesses weren't going to be doing super great and not making a ton of money. But as we all kind of know, the largest corporations and businesses have really done well during the pandemic and made a lot of money, and that has turned into Portland getting a good chunk of money during the business license tax revenue time. And so that kind of came in April. So that came in, the end of last month, the city discovered, we have, I think it's 35 million more than we thought we would have to work with, which is like a significant chunk.
Yeah.
And that gave, that really gave little time for other city offices and bureaus to, have an opportunity to propose where that money should go. And so it's really, a lot of it is really up to Mayor Wheeler himself to say, okay, these are projects that I've heard a lot about maybe, or people have brought them up, and this is where, and so to be clear, this tax money is just one time, so it's just for a year. It's not like you can't create, a new program that'll last for a decade or something. So it's kind of where can this extra money go for a year and be useful? And so he's suggested throwing it in a lot of different directions, a lot of ways to kind of fill in gaps that maybe budget or different bureaus had in their budgets, and he released that plan yesterday, and he's going to be testifying about it and talking about it this morning at City Council. Also this afternoon or this evening, members of the public can comment on it. They have until noon to sign up, just a heads up. And there's a lot in this budget. There's a lot of kind of expected things that have been previewed a little bit. Like he has agreed to take on the proposal from City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty to expand the Portland Street response to be 24/7, which right now it's only, I think it goes until 10. It kind of shuts down at night, and so that means hiring, I think, 30-something more employees, and he's also agreed to hire more employees for the Portland Police Bureau, but not sworn officers, so not more police with guns, but specifically the unarmed crew of officers who kind of a new position that their main job is to kind of go out and to write reports, to go out and help resolve nonviolent issues. Take a report if someone's car was stolen like a day ago and it's not it's kind of a cold case, and to just help kind of folks navigate the system, because a lot of the issues with calling the police right now, the anecdotal stories of I called and they said they couldn't come, or I called and they said, well, we're defunded, so no one can help you.
Right.
A lot of that comes down to just like being able to do the paperwork kind of and do the administrative stuff. And so the budget includes about 40-something new positions of unarmed Portland Police Bureau employees, and those employees will be funded, their jobs will be funded with salaries that have been set aside for hiring new officers. So in some ways it's taking money from kind of the armed policing force and giving it to folks who will ideally help solve some of the problems within the Bureau. And to be clear, he has asked for funding for 3 police officer positions, which is a pretty low ask compared to the past. And it's a group of other proposals and ideas. A lot of things kind of tied to the recovery post-COVID, funding campaigns to support small businesses, to support kind of art and culture organizations. But yeah, certainly a big focus on like public safety and kind of addressing the issues that people, not kind of the reforming the police issues, but more of the, officers aren't doing their job issues. It's also expanding the number of 911 operators to improve the call time response. There's money going towards, actually kind of a historic amount of money that's proposed to go towards climate change resiliency, which could be used in a number of ways, but it's the first time in a while that the city's put aside a lot of money for that. And, a kind of range of issues. But, this budget has come out in a really quick way. It was delayed a little bit because there was this last minute influx of money that the mayor had to figure out what to do with. And I'd argue that amount of money in those pockets of funding are still pretty flexible. And so, discussion today at City Council and public comment will likely influence where that actually goes and kind of what happens next and where it lands. But, as always, it's a great opportunity to feel a little bit more engaged in, where your tax dollars go. So that's where we are budget-wise right now.
Amazing. amazing and not amazing. Which I guess is what we could expect, right? We're not always going to see the things that we want to see. It does excite me or excites me is the wrong word. No, it is the right word. It excites me that they're expanding or talking about expanding the street response, Portland street response,
Definitely.
Because that is working. And that is something that I feel like, we watched get money taken either away from or not invested in. Mm-hmm. And that is always going to change the result of, it's, what's the word?
Effectiveness?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And success or not. If you don't fund it,
right?
How can it be an actual viable solution? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting to see how the mayor's office uses this budget cycle and most budget cycles as a way to try to appease some while maybe getting something else he wants through the door. It's kind of like an array of handouts and then also kind of like take-backs. But, usually police are the most controversial piece of the budget cycle. And this time I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that'll be the case. I mean, I do expect there to be questions, pushback around these unarmed officers or employees because it is kind of a new program like the Portland Street Response that was created a few years ago by the mayor to be like, hey, look, we have unarmed police. This is great. But there hasn't been a ton of studies and research as to, is this effective? Is this actually doing the job we want? Mm-hmm. And so I think there'll probably be some questions as to, why are we funding so many? Mm-hmm. Just because people say they want unarmed police, that's great. But are they actually helping? We're not totally sure yet. There's a lot in Portland's budgeting technique that is throwing a lot of money at something and hoping it's the right answer. And democracy is an experiment.
Yeah.
Isn't it though?
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
As always.
As always. For anyone just tuning in, that was Alex Zelinski, news editor of the Portland Mercury. Tune in every Thursday at 8:45 a.m. to hear an update from the Mercury right here on News with My Fiance on X-Ray.
Friends, Ambush has a goal of 2 members for this show. 2 new members.
2 new members.
The goal for the day for the station is 15. What if we got half of that?
Whoa,
huh?
There's still time.
There's still time.
There's plenty of time.
We haven't even did a desk pop yet with the money guns.
Didn't.
Are we ready? Nebraska's ready.
Wait a minute.
Ambush, you're not even close to ready.
I feel like I am now.
Friends,
We need to document it.
we need some money coming into the station. How else are we going to continue to yell into a microphone for you? Huh? There's so much happening. There's the local elections that we, let's take the money away from those in this moment and get the dark money funding over here.
Let's get the dark money in the right place.
Yeah. Desk pop. Money gun.
Let's do it. Yeah. It's happening.
Still going. Huh? You guys, there's fake money everywhere right now. It's the most fun. Hear it until the next fun drive.
Until the next fun drive.
We got to get it going.
We have to.
Yeah.
We did get another text.
Oh, yeah.
The protest looks staged to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, maybe. I'm not even mad at that thought. It was weird. I don't know who those people, no shade, but it was a weird looking situation.
Yeah, man. We gonna see.
Here's the thing for me. I don't even care. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
I don't care if it was staged. Maybe he didn't get run out. Maybe those were the homies. Maybe those are the people that he brought from Sandy that nobody knows.
Oh, man.
But it was hilarious.
Imagine if he had to bring those people to give him opposition because no one cared he was here.
I mean, in all honesty, bro, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get to be the big man over there. That big man on campus.
Yeah. You're listening to X-Ray FM at KXRY Portland at 107.1 and 91.1 FM, streaming online everywhere, xray.fm. Hey, this was News of My Fiance, brought to you by Morel Inc. Today's show was made possible by Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush, engineer Nebraska Lucas, news writer Bryan Miller. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And our podcast editor, Kyle Gilmer.
And always our special guest, correspondent, Alex Zelinski. The squad is deep.
Squad is deep.
And we have not, I'm sorry, Ambush, but we have not been threatened to not endorse people. And our squad is working to get things going too.
Yeah. Shout out to the tech squad. Y'all killed it. Y'all definitely killed it.
Yeah, y'all kind of did our job today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Remember, poverty is a policy choice. None of us are free until we're all free. And we need Medicare for all right now. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys next week.